I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is episode number 390.
Welcome to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. If you're a woman and you're smart and you're successful and you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you are ready to make this the last time you ever have to go on a diet again, then this podcast is for you. Stay tuned.
Well, hello, all my dear friends all over the world. And of course, I do mean all over the world. Right now, individually, I'm working with somebody in Pakistan. I'm working with somebody in New Zealand. I'm working with somebody in Australia. I'm working with somebody in England. And I'm working with many people in the United States. But my message, I think, is universal. And even recently, many of you may be aware that I just finished talking about a course that I was going to give called Jumpstart Your Brain to Lose Weight. And probably as you're hearing this, it is going on. And I'm sorry if you missed it, but I'm sure I'll be doing something like this again. A 3-day course, an hour a day, $37, where I get your brain going. But if you miss that and you still want to get your brain going, you always got this podcast. A little bit different than working with me in a group and being coached by me. But nonetheless, all over the world, all women seem to have the same problem. And the reason I was talking about my Jumpstart program is because we were running some videos on Facebook and on Instagram, and I could not believe all the responses that I got from people all over the world. I'm not even sure where, because in some, they were asking me if they could use certain money that I wasn't even sure what country that money came from. And, people telling me in English, they just have to get rid of their belly fat. But wanting to lose weight in menopause and feeling stuck about it is seriously a universal problem. And I think part of it is a cultural problem universally, and learning how to be happy with ourselves and accept ourselves, our bodies, seems to also be a universal problem. So one of the things that I thought about that I'd like to talk to you about today is this. What if you just didn't think about losing weight, that you didn't have to lose weight? Now, this is what I want you to think about. I have a lot of clients and I do a lot of mini sessions with women who tend to have a range of how high they'll go and how low they'll go. And it has nothing to do with their goal weight. So let's say somebody wants to weigh 140, but they weigh 160. And as much as they want to weigh 140, what they really don't want to happen is they don't want to go above 160, and they feel pretty good at 155. So they have this range of 155 to 160 where they kind of like to linger, even though they think they have to lose weight and they have to weigh 140. Now, if you're one of those people, because I used to be one of those people for 30 years where I always wanted to weigh 20 pounds less than what I weighed, but I would absolutely not let myself go above a certain weight. And when I started going down to a certain weight, it was almost like when it was up, I pulled everything in. So easy for me to lose weight because there was no way I was going above that number. And when I got down 5 pounds or so, that's kind of what the range was. It was kind of like, well, I should be able to reward myself for doing that. And I'm not at that high number anymore. So therefore, I should be able to have a celebration. I did so much of that for 30 years. And then, of course, I would go back to Weight Watchers and get my act together, follow the plan, and get down to the weight that I really wanted to be at. which only lasted a few days because then I would start eating my way back up and stay within the range of what I thought was acceptable, even though I had gained weight. So I don't know about you, but I want you to think about if this is you. I see a lot of clients like this, and I do a lot of mini sessions with those of you that when you hit a certain number, all bets are off. You're going to do whatever it takes, and you do start losing weight. Even though many people say they can't lose weight, they don't let themselves get any higher. They know how to figure that out. And it's in their head. And then when they start getting a little bit lower, it's party time. Nowhere near the goal weight, but it's a game the brain plays and you're playing along with it. And you're thinking that you just can't lose weight. But actually, you've trained your brain not to let you lose weight because there is an acceptable number that has nothing to do with your goal weight. But acceptable meaning you're not at that high number anymore. So therefore, you can let it out a little bit and you don't have to pay attention. Now, this is what I want to offer you. And I'm saying for the next week to the next month, I want to offer you some freedom. And the freedom is that I want you to accept where you are in this range. Let's just say you want to weigh 140, but you weigh 155 to 160. You kind of play around in that area. And these numbers could be very different. You could be in the 200s, 25 to 210, and you really want to be 180. Or you could be 250 and you really want to weigh 200. But all of you have this little it's okay thing going on in your head. And these numbers, you play with them. And I think this game keeps you from ever getting to your goal weight. And I don't think you know it. So here is my suggestion to you for a week or the next month. If you're in this range that you're playing with, not at the high number, not at your goal weight, and maybe not at that low number, but somewhere in between where you're always thinking you have to lose weight. Because I was always thinking I had to lose weight. For 30 years, really, that's all I ever thought is I had to lose weight. Even when I lost the weight, I was still thinking I had to lose weight. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I didn't have to lose weight, if I didn't even have the thought that I didn't have to lose weight. And I think a lot of you who have been doing this for a long time are playing this game and don't even know it. You've trained your brain so much that it tricks you into believing you can't lose weight. Now, if you've been playing this game, and I do call it a game for most of your life, for me, I started at 12, stopped at about 55. Then when you get into menopause, this game is harder to play. Everything is harder. There is no doubt about it. But you've been doing it all along anyway. And that's why when I speak with women, I always say to you, if you're a woman who's been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you're ready to make this the last time you ever have to lose weight again, then you want to work with me, you want to listen to me because I got your number. But it's all of that mixed up. It's not just when you hit menopause. You've been playing around for years. It's just that you can't keep playing around like you used to when you hit menopause because your body is changing, your metabolism is changing, and it's asking you to pay attention. Not restrict and deprive more, but pay attention to what's going on. So this is what I want you to pay attention to this week or all 4 weeks in the next month, because I think 4 weeks could be very interesting for you as opposed to 1 week. But even if you just do this for 1 week, is that whatever weight you're at, you decide it's okay and you accept it. Now, I know even if you want to lose weight, I want you to accept it. And the goal is for the next week, the next 2 weeks, the next month is to stay at that number, whatever that number is. It's like, what would it be like not to have to think you have to lose weight, but you do have to think I have to pay attention? And that's where you come in with using my tools. It's just that your thought process is, I don't have to lose weight. I have to pay attention. I want to be connected to my body. And so then you start using like my 4 major tools. And if you're not sure what those are, please go back to listen to my first 4 or 5 podcasts where I just go over the basics because they really haven't changed in all of the years that I've been doing this. And just know so that you understand, can you eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full? Can you use the physical hunger scale and understand your numbers? Can you understand and notice that if you're not physically hungry and you're eating, what is really going on, which is, of course, emotional hunger. Now, when you're working with me individually or in a group, or if you're in a mini course with me, which is what's going on right now, you will have opportunities to have your brain coached so I can show you specifically what emotional hunger looks like. Because you don't have to name a feeling. You have to know more of what you're thinking that's creating the urge to want to eat when you're not hungry. So when you're specifically working with me or you're hearing me coach somebody else, it becomes much more clear what this looks like. But understanding your emotional hunger and your physical hunger is very, very important. 2 most important tools that I teach. And the actual food journaling that goes along with this, which of course you can always get by going to drdebbutler.com/change, CHANGE. And you can get a copy of my little companion book that has the major tools that I teach that I go over in my first 4 or 5 podcasts. And what I'm saying to you is take away the need to lose weight and really start beefing up your thinking about, I just want to be more connected to my body. I don't need to lose weight. It's like it is an epiphany to think you don't need to lose weight. Because many of you go around for years and years and years telling yourself how you have to lose weight, but you stay within this range all the time. Like you'll never go any higher than a certain number. And as soon as you start going down a little bit lower, your brain says, let's party, let's eat. A lot of fog eating, a lot of joy fog eating going on when you start getting down in that number. And when that number is up in the high end, that's usually when, if you're paying attention to my tools, you might get very, very specific about what your hunger scale looks like, get really specific about food journaling. But as soon as that number starts dropping, watch what your brain does. Now, what I'm saying here is all you have to do is stay the same. I mean, to me, it's like freeing. You don't have to lose any more weight. You don't have to get down to your goal weight. All you have to do is stay the same and watch how your brain messes with you with these few numbers. Let's have a party. Oh my God, you're terrible. You're a fat pig. Oh my God, what's happening? You're going to lose it. You can't control yourself. And you're like a ping pong ball going back and forth, nowhere close to your goal weight. But I think this is the way you can get to your goal weight, is if you can become at peace and acceptance with where you are and learn to do all the connections and the mindfulness that I'm talking about without the need to lose weight. And what might happen is you might even start losing weight, but then you have to watch your brain about what it does about the scale, because I do a lot of work with the scale because of how your brain messes with the number on the scale and either tells you it's too slow, or, oh my God, you're sick, or, oh my gosh, you're never going to do it, or all the things that your brain reports on the number of the scale that slows everything down or makes you feel like you can't do it. Now, all of this is in all of my programs when you're working with me individually or in a group. But if you never do that with me, listen up. This is an opportunity for you to start right now with, I don't have to lose any weight. I have to get connected to my body. It's more important for me to get connected to my body and understand what's going on, and understand what's going on with me, and understand what's going on in my emotional life than it is to lose weight. I don't have to lose weight. I'm fine for now. I'm fine for now. I think your body and your brain are almost going to get confused, but it's also a sense of freedom. This does not mean you go out and eat whatever you want and disconnect. This means you do more of what I tell you to do, not less. It's just the goal isn't to lose weight. Okay. So I really want you to try that this week because I don't think I've ever mentioned this on this podcast before. And I think I might include it. I might start working with it even as a tool because I see it so often how women control their weight with these numbers without ever getting close to their goal weight, but always saying how they have to lose weight, always saying how they can't do it, when they're the ones that are stopping themselves because they're messing around up in this upper range and making it seem like it's okay. And then telling themselves it's not, but it is, but it isn't, but it is, but it isn't. But boy, you get up in that high number and boy, do you stop it. That is the way to get to your goal weight. You just have to stop messing around with that messy game that you've been doing. So I want you to try that this week or this month. And then I would love to hear from you. You can write me at drdeb@drdebbutler.com and tell me what this experience is like for you. Because what most of my clients have said to me is, I'm afraid I'll just go off the rails. And what I say to them and what I'm going to say to you, you go off the rails anyway. It doesn't matter. Your number starts getting a little lower, you're off. Your number gets a little higher, you're on. What if it didn't matter? All that mattered is that you got more connected to your body and you could see it and feel it, and you're willing to work it out with yourself. These emotions, these thoughts that are calling you, that are telling you to do things that you don't want to be doing, but you don't question them. So it starts with acceptance. I don't even have to lose weight. All I have to do is get more connected to my body. That's all I have to do. And when you're in menopause, getting more connected to your body, it might mean, what is it like to balance your hormones? Your hormones need to be balanced. You need to see a certain physician that could help you do that. There's all different ways to do it. It could sound confusing. But most of you know what is acceptable for you to do and what isn't when it comes to that. Or maybe you're more into naturopath and you want more supplementation. Or maybe you're more into what would it take to eat. Let me tell you what. When I do the no flour, no sugar experiment in my big program that I do in my individual program or my group program, which we don't incorporate until the middle of it, and it's an experiment. It's not something you do for the rest of your life. A lot of people's symptoms of menopause start changing just by what they're eating. Is it what you're eating? Do you need a supplement? Do you need blood work? What is going on with your body? Menopause is the time where your body is saying, do something. And if you can figure it out now, you are on the road, on a path to aging in a way that is positive because you're willing to take care of your body and you're willing to listen to it. And, when you're tired, I know so many women, high achievers, brilliant, successful women that are known for pushing themselves. How do I know that? I coach a lot of them. I was one of them. I still am one of them. I can feel so tired and I can be coming home in my car. And I know I've told you this before. And I think, I could just stop at Trader Joe's and get a few things. Or, I have no energy left. My body is saying, go home. And sometimes I just want to push it. That is not connecting to your body. If you're one of those pushers, this would be the week to 4 weeks to start paying attention to that. What's it like not to push your body? What's it like to put yourself to bed when you're tired? What's it like to eat when you're hungry? What's it like to stop when you're full? What's it like to deal with your emotions that you feel in your body and not fill them up with food without the need to lose weight? There's nothing wrong with you. Okay, you got to let me know about that. I can't wait. And also, in another week or a week and a half, my group program is going to open up again. And if this is something that you're wanting to do, stay tuned, watch your emails, listen to the podcast. You will be getting more information on it very, very shortly. But for now, as I end this podcast, most of you know what I'm going to say. I just want to make sure that you understand that you really don't have to lose weight. You really need to be more connected to your body. And you know what else you really need? To be very, very kind to yourself, no matter where you go or who you're with. Please be very, very kind to yourself. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
If you're loving my podcast and you would like some more information to be able to follow along with, then please go to drdebbutler.com/change, and you can get a free copy of my companion book that goes with this podcast that I refer to in many different episodes. That is drdebbutler.com/change, CHANGE.